Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. Today, my guest is Shannon Urquiola. She is the founder of Not Your Average Autism Mom. She is a master certified parent coach and works exclusively with moms raising a child or children diagnosed with autism. Shannon, I am so happy to have you as my guest today. Welcome.
Nicole, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you invited me to be here with you and share all of the goodness that we have going on.
Well, I know you have a lot of good things going on, and I know you are helping a lot of moms out there today dealing with a child or children with autism. But I want to start with your story, and it is the why. And your why is Jordan, your son.
Yes. So I am a mom to two amazing young adults. I have a daughter, Madison, who is 23. And then, yes, my son, Jordan, who just turned 26. And he is my why. He was diagnosed with autism when he was 5 years old. So, as you can imagine, 21 years ago,
Yeah.
autism was not nearly as prevalent as it is today.
Right.
And I think that, for me, the internet wasn't readily available, at that time. So the resources weren't available. So I read lots of books. And I didn't have anyone to turn to who understood.
Right.
And I think that's what led me to today was just our journey was very difficult. And I had to make lots of difficult decisions. My family didn't understand because I was the first person that, had a child with autism in our family. So it wasn't that they just, for lack of knowledge, lack of experience, they didn't know what to say to me.
Right. Well, I think and those of us that don't have that situation in our family, we don't know what to say. We
Mhm.
love the person, we want to help, but we don't know what to do. And so as a parent, I can't even imagine being in that position.
Right. And I think that's what I really try to emphasize because when Jordan was diagnosed, which again, 21 years ago, the numbers were 1 in 159 children are diagnosed with autism. Today, the numbers are 1 in 44 children in the United States. So that's a huge difference.
It is. I actually looked up the statistics before we were going to have our conversation, and I thought, my goodness, the numbers are growing as to the number of children being diagnosed on the spectrum. And
Yes.
do you even know why that is happening today?
It's funny. I just did a presentation for the ABLE organization for CSX Corporation, and we had an invited guest who she diagnoses children through Nemours Children's Hospital in Orlando, and we were having that discussion. And I think because there's so much more awareness around what to look for early on. Physicians are more knowledgeable. They have, their checklists that they're doing now at certain times. And so I think that they're seeing it a lot earlier. And parents are just becoming more aware. And I think that that's why the numbers are rising. I will say that so when Jordan was diagnosed, the why never mattered to me.
Sure.
From from that moment, why he had autism never mattered. My whole entire goal was, what am I going to do to make his life the best that it can possibly be?
Right.
Knowing nothing, let's just add on there. I knew nothing about autism.
Right. So you're learning while knowing nothing about autism and
Yes.
wanting him to have the best life possible, which
Yes.
really led you to take a deeper dive into autism and to want to support women, mothers at this point in their lives.
Yes. That is, so I, originally in my career, I was in the beauty business and I was a national sales manager. And when Jordan got to middle school, I realized that was not reasonable for me anymore. He was going to need more of me. And so I got into educational advocacy because school was a nightmare for us.
I can't imagine.
It was just very, very difficult. He had many, many negative behaviors. The school had me on speed dial. And they were looking to me for answers on how to help him.
Right.
And so
And
for
you're
me,
thinking, I need you to help me.
exactly. Like, I'm like, they're like, well, what can we do? I don't know. Like, I'm thinking that you're the expert. Like, I'm trying to look for you at you for advice. So I decided that I needed to dive into advocacy to figure out and learn what was available for him for this educational journey. So I spent 10 years doing that, working with families with all sorts of different disabilities, or different abilities, however you want to put it. And I just realized that I wanted to work with moms of children with autism.
Right.
It was my love. It was what I had learned for all those years. And so much of what I learned, Nicole, I learned so late. And so, I was just talking to our members the other night. I said, I want you guys to know that I'm so grateful that you're learning all of these things when you have littles. When
Yeah.
yours are 4 and 5 and 6 and 10, because I didn't learn and implement so much of this until Jordan was 18.
Right.
Big difference.
And of course, you would have loved to have had someone help you
Yes.
early on in your journey.
Yes.
How fortunate for these women that are now in your sisterhood to be able to give them what they need early on and to share that with them. It has to be making a difference for them.
Yes, it is. You know what? And I tell them all the time, just so you know, it warms my heart to see the connections that they're making. And I know you said earlier, and I always reference, we work with mothers who have a child or children with autism, because we have moms in our membership that have twins that are both diagnosed with autism. So for me, seeing the relationships they're building, seeing their, because we are a group of, we're not sitting in that very negative place. Getting an autism diagnosis turns your world upside down.
Oh, I can't imagine.
You don't know what to do. You don't know where to turn. The doctor says, yep, your child has autism. Here you go. Good luck.
Whew.
And you're lost. You're lost.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people sit in that place of, they're grieving the child that they wish they would have had. They're constantly thinking about how life should have been different.
Right.
And so we work on, really, we don't stay in that place. We work from a place of, this is our life. So what are we going to do to make this the best life that we can make it?
Yes.
And, it's funny, I just did a podcast episode on embracing the chaos. Sometimes it's going to be chaotic.
Oh, I'm sure.
People are going to judge you. That's okay. Just be in that place, because it's not going away.
Right.
And if you spend so much time wishing and hoping and wanting it to be different, you're just living in a place of misery.
Right. And the beauty of your group is that you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more than anything, knowing, gosh, I feel like I'm by myself, that no one understands. You're providing that place for them to come together to say, you're not alone and we're with you, we're supporting you. And here's information to help you learn how to deal with the chaos.
Absolutely. When Jordan was little, getting ready to go into school, I remember hearing the words, kids like him.
I'm sure that was hard.
I could cry just thinking about that, because, that's just a tough pill to swallow. And so having other moms who get it, who truly understand, and all of our experiences are not identical. They're not all the same,
Right.
But we understand.
Yes.
We understand that you're very disappointed that he can't play traditional Little League.
Right.
We get it.
Yes. It's good to know someone gets it, no matter, like you said, even if every situation is not the same, there is a common theme there. It's that your child has autism and your journey will be different, but we can do this if we work together and support one another. So how do people become involved in your sisterhood? Because it is a group and you take enrollment,
Yes.
not all the time. So explain the
Yes.
process.
So we and we have a lot of different chapters that are evolving. We're actually in the process of becoming a 501c3 because we want to be able to provide a broader range of support. We have our Sisterhood is a it's a membership program, and our clients pay $44 a month, so it's only $11 a week. And we have an entire membership portal full of training and resources and coaching. And I think more than anything, we get together several times during the month. You and I were talking before we started recording about we had our happy hour this past Tuesday. So once a month, we get together for happy hour. We have coffee talks a couple times a month. We have coaching calls. We have just lots of things where we get together so that our members who are from, coast to coast, we have members in Rhode Island and San Diego and Oregon and Kansas and everywhere in between. Actually, I was you got my information and I got yours from one of our members that's there in South Carolina. And so our membership, we don't open all the time. We have openings certain times of the year. We're actually open right now. We will be closing in September for the rest of the year. We won't open again until 2023. But our website is notyouraverageautismmom.com. And so all of the details are there. My goal when I started this was I wanted to make it affordable and reasonable so that moms could choose to make the investment in themselves. Because along this journey, there are so many things available for your child. Therapies and, just all of the things, but there's not anything for moms. And so that's what I wanted. I wanted them to not feel alone, to not feel isolated, to not stay in that place of things are so bad.
Right.
To be able to give them encouragement that, there are hard times, but there are also amazing times.
And you've already experienced so much of that so that you can encourage and help them to see there is light at the end of the tunnel. That has to really make you feel good knowing you're investing your time in others, because your son Jordan, he's older now. He's on a different path, and I'm suspecting some of the chaos isn't there like it was when he was younger with what you dealt with. How do you feel knowing you are making a difference in the moms that you're talking to that were really moms like you so many years ago?
It brings me the most joy ever. And, when I just said something earlier, there was a mom that found our podcast and she shared it with some friends and she just said, I'm hoping that this will help you like it's helped me. Those are the kind of things that keep me going, and I think that, yes, you are correct. Our chaos now is very different. And a lot of our moms, unlike me, I am going to be a forever mom. I know that. I have guardianship of Jordan. He will be with Dave and I forever. But there are plenty of moms that are inside of our membership that their journey won't look the same.
Right.
That, their children will take a different path. Their children will be able to become independent and so forth. But just knowing that I am encouraging them and changing their lives. We have a member in our membership who her little guy, actually his birthday is today, and he just turned 6. But she's been with us 2 years almost, because we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary. And when she joined us, she was in a place of so scared.
Oh.
She was in a place of, I'm not telling anyone that my child has autism. And she was on a call with us, in the last week or so, and I listened to her talk and I said, I am so proud of you. Like, you are at such a different place now than you were 2 years ago, because I've been here with you this whole time. And she said, that's all because of the sister.
Wow.
And so for me, Nicole, that's why I do what I do, because I want their journeys to be easier than mine was.
Right. Paying it forward, in my opinion, is what life is all about.
Absolutely. I agree tenfold. And I laugh because I say, my podcast, I'm like, one day when I'm dead, when I'm gone, that I'll still live on through my podcast. And like my daughter, I said, when you're missing me and you want to hear my voice, you can go listen to
And you'll still be helping people.
it.
100%.
Exactly.
So I want to know how Jordan is now at 20 something years old.
So he is an interesting guy. He is, I will tell you, Jordan has probably had the most growth that he's ever had in the last 4 to 5 years. As far as social, he has significant social deficits. He is not social. Jordan has never had a friend, which, that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes for a mom. But Jordan, I had to come to a place, Nicole, where I had to realize that Jordan is very happy with where Jordan is. So all of the sadness and was all coming from me, was coming from the thoughts that I was having because Jordan was fine. And so Dave and I will sit back sometimes because so in our home, he has kind of his own living room area and bedroom and his own kind of side of the house. And we'll hear him in his bedroom and it will sound like there's 10 people in there. He's laughing and talking. And Dave and I will just look at each other and say, he's really happy. Right. And so Jordan, I'm very blessed that we moved to North Georgia, which I did not know at the time when we moved here, but services for adults with disabilities in Georgia, much different than Florida. And so Jordan is on what's called a waiver program in the state of Georgia, where he goes to a day program Monday through Friday. They pick him up in the morning. They drop him off in the afternoon, and they go out into the community. They do community service things. They go to lunch. They go bowling. They go, so to get them active. So he's been there since we moved here. They had quite the learning curve. They had never had anyone like Jordan. Jordan's fight or flight mode when he is very uncomfortable, it's not a nice place.
Right.
And he can say things that are very mean and hurtful, but he has come so far. I mean, the people at the day center where he goes are amazing. And the progress that he's made is amazing. But through this waiver program in the state of Georgia, as long as Jordan stays in the state of Georgia, he will always be taken care of. That's so cool. When Dave and I are gone one day, that burden is not put on Madison, his sister.
Right.
So, he will always be taken care of, even into elder years, through this waiver program, which for me, for my mom heart, sure, knowing that he's going to be taken care of and then I'm not putting that burden on her that, isn't the right thing to do. I mean, she can choose to do something different with it if she decides to, but it's just a huge blessing. And he's a big guy who has a unique, quirky sense of humor and is learning to become more social in our home with those that we love.
I think that your story is inspirational for those who are coming to you for help and guidance to know that, hey, you can do this. You can get through this.
And that is our message. And that is our message for moms that, are just diagnosed. I mean, we have a physician partnership program where we're working with physicians who are diagnosing autism because, I think I said earlier when we were talking, when you get that diagnosis, right, the doctor says, your child has autism. Here you go. Good luck. Right. And you leave lost. So that's our hope, is that these physicians will provide our information and say, exactly that there will be a lot of things for your child along the way, but this is for you. This is for you to get encouragement, support, hope, as well as training.
Yes, I love that. So what's the best way for people to learn more about Not Your Average Autism Mom?
So you can find us on your favorite podcast platform
Yes.
at Not Your Average Autism Mom. We're on all the major podcast platforms, and we're actually getting ready to record our 100th episode. So we are super excited about that. And you can find us at notyouraverage.autismmom.com and get all the information on the sisterhood. And and just keep an eye out, because we have lots of good things coming where we're going to be our goal is to help more families along this journey, just to make it a little easier for them.
Oh, I love that. It's truly been an inspiration to talk with you today, Shannon. And I really want to thank you for taking the time to be with me. As we close, any final thoughts?
I just want to I would really like to say to parents who are, maybe you have a child and you're concerned. There's some delays. There's some things that, that don't seem quite right. Don't wait. Get the diagnosis. Go get the evaluations. And you may not even get a diagnosis, but getting the evaluations, what's the downside? There's no downside. There's only an upside, that if your child is diagnosed, you can now get them the help they need.
Great advice. Your child gets the help that he or she needs, and then you help the mom get the help and resources she needs.
Absolutely, Nicole.
Shannon, thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to be with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm just honored to be here with you.
No, it's been my pleasure. And that will do it for this edition of Conversations with Nicole. Until I see you again, I hope you have a great day.